Welcome back, everyone, to Pontos Fathom Press. This is our next episode of our Comics and Manga Mondays, and I guess for the new Batman film that's come out, I wanted to do what obviously seemed to me some of the inspiration behind some of the stylization and the concept in the new Batman movie. And so I'm going to do a quick review of Batman Hush. This is the Omnibus sort of artist edition hardcover. It's a great edition. It's a great Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb joint. Great interviews here with Jeff and Jim. But I think what's cool about the Hush story is how it, first of all, this Jim Lee Batman stuff is just fantastic. I mean, everything is amazing with this, And I think that because of the way Hush is a villain that is deeply rooted in Bruce Wayne's past and sort of a bit of a retcon of the, it works around the normal Bruce Wayne, origin story that we have. But at the same time, I feel it's a bit refreshed in that we get some interesting new details that make sense. The other thing is Jim Lee really knows how to draw the soles on Batman's shoes. I mean, he really is. I think not since the Joe Quesada Daredevil shoes have you seen such great shoes. But and I think Batman just looks awesome in all of this. Super stylized. He looks cool as heck, right? And he looks a bit like the Dark Knight Returns. The other thing that's great about this is it is quite the while the Hush villain is coming through, you get this cast of all the villains. Like, here's Killer Croc. This details are just great. I mean, it's just fantastic stuff. And I think some of the things that caught my eye in this was those scenes in the new Batman movie, the Robert Pattinson's The Batman, that these Batman Catwoman scenes from this edition, really, you can see that a lot of their artistic direction kind of comes from the vibes of this Catwoman. I mean, I think this is like one of the greatest Catwoman-Batman interactions that you see in comics. And here's what I'm talking about, these sole shoes. I mean, these are... They've even got the Wayne logo. Yeah, Jim Lee is just in perfect form here. And Catwoman definitely has that... that stylization, somewhat like in the Batman movie, with Zoe Kravitz's portrayal. So we've gone from Killer Croc. Now we've got Catwoman. Now we go to Poison Ivy, and slowly the plot starts to involve the sort of the extended Batman family. Like, we have Huntress here, and we realize that there's someone behind all of this. Here's a picture of Hush. Someone's behind all of these villains. Someone's orchestrating a bigger plot here, and I think it's really great. What's also great about this Jim Lee art is, like, it starts to switch up into these historical flashback scenes where they're done sort of almost like watercolor style. I really enjoy this stuff. And I think it's got kind of this... it reminds me a bit of the John Byrne intensity, and just Jim Lee's line work is always intense. His forms are intense. Like, Batman looks kind of massive in this. Again, those flashback scenes. I especially like the one where they first see a superhero. I think that was a quite good one. Interior cockpits of the Batmobile, just cool kind of colors and imagery. This is fantastic coloring. The other thing that's great about this is the different bubbles, the different speech types. You can see Batman's internal monologue, Hush's monologue. I'm going to show you those Catwoman scenes. Yeah, for sure, this stuff reminds me of the Batman movie. I mean, I think they definitely got some of this, right? they got this right. This has kind of got that vibe from the Batman. And then as we jump in, here's that original Golden Age Green Lantern. And the Catwoman without the mask definitely reminds me of those dialogue scenes of the Batman. I mean, I suppose that some of the Batman film also reminded me of the Dark Knight Returns, where Batman's fighting the gang of white makeup villains. And it kind of reminds me of the cult that he beats up in Dark Knight Returns. But again, this kind of vibe of the Batman and Catwoman sort of collaborating, and then Poison Ivy sort of turning Superman against him. I mean, this is a great repurposing of Superman, right? To have Poison Ivy has Superman under her power, and then Batman's sort of faced with fighting, with his worst nightmare where he has to fight off Batman. And this scene's where he gets down into the sewers and it's lead lined, buying his time against Superman finding him, gets his kryptonite ring. It's like he's got it in the belt, right? He's keeping it at all times. I mean, this stuff is great. You don't come to Metropolis and not be prepared for him. And then finally he kind of comes through. Catwoman bolts off, right? And then he's got the Poison Ivy hypnotism kind of, that's a great effect to sort of show that Poison Ivy's control over Superman. But meanwhile, all through this story, these villains have another puppet. This is great. This kind of reminds me of the Batman Hulk thing for some reason, just like the idea of Clark just grabbing a car, and how Batman's just on the run from this. And then Catwoman reciprocates the threat against him by going after Lois, and it snaps him out of the spell, actually. And now he's back. This is great, Jim Lee. Great compositions in this one. Poison Ivy's never looked so good. Superman looks intense in this as well. And it kind of has a great scene here of their friendship, this sort of like, I gave the ring to the right person. Always the detective, ever the Boy Scout. This stuff is great. This is good Jeff Loeb detail to writing. Now we start getting into the Bruce Wayne things. Of course, Joker's got to come next. We've got Harley Quinn, Opera Schmopera, and Harley Quinn's now in the game. And slowly we're getting closer to the reveal of the big event. This is a great money shot here of talk about everything in one panel. And some of these moves are just fantastic, right? Again, the gloves and the boots are just super detailed. You can always see he's always got those heels on. That's pretty good. Pretty well done. Batman's looking pretty thick in this. But Harley Quinn kind of takes out Catwoman. And then it leads us to the next chapter, which is the Joker. And now Bat's kind of going to do his bring Joker close to the end. Stop me if you've heard this one before. He's innocent, and he thinks about how he killed Barbara, and he's got some memories of Batgirl here. So it's really a tour of everything. It's kind of a bit like, this story's a bit like, in a way, I think about James Bond Spectre, right? How there's the childhood friend, and the kind of retcon story here is that everything bad that's happened to Batman is part of is part of Hush. And it's kind of been a misdirection. Like, even this is kind of a misdirection on Two-Face, right? So you've got the Two-Face misdirection. They keep kind of teasing us as who this villain is. I mean, this is pretty good. Now we get to Nightwing, the original Robin, and Tommy's funeral, which isn't real, actually, but we don't know that yet. So we're still misdirected through the whole thing. The whole thing is misdirection. But it also reminds me a bit of the, I don't know if you guys remember, but the original Hobgoblin saga out of Amazing Spider-Man, where you didn't know who it was. Is it Norman Osborn is back? Is it Harry Osborn back? Is it someone else? And they kept doing this kind of like, because I think the way that they did the mystery villain in the Hobgoblin saga was to have us never see the face of the person who discovers the Green Goblin's sort of lab, and then he slowly puts together the Hobgoblin costume. And I think Hush is kind of like this, right? Now he's talking to Joker. Now we got Ra's al Ghul coming in. This is fantastic. That's great. Kind of echoes of the SR-71. Talia is back. Taking it home to the Batcave. We got Talia versus Catwoman. We got Ra's al Ghul zombified here. And now we've even got Catwoman takes her back to the cave. It's to meet Alfred. This is quite a very satisfying sort of team up with Batman and Catwoman. I think in like a long overdue. And I think that all of this tension in the sort of the team up here, they really kind of took inspiration for this from the Batman film. I mean, obviously that Batman film has lots of other insights. Now we've got Robin 3 here, Tim Drake, and we also start seeing, we have Huntress comes in here, and there's even some intimations that, the Scarecrow is now on the scene. Again, some great panel work here. This is just, great camera angle sort of stuff. And now we're seeing Hush. Then there's a Jason Todd kind of scam going on. Yeah, and this red backgrounds are just very intense. It's like, it's getting more and more intense basically with the red. And then he says, "You're not the Robin who died." So again, more of the Hush unravels. Riddler comes in now. Again. This is a great shot. And now face it with Hush. Huntress is here. Again, Riddler's in here, but again, Riddler, just part of the plot. And it kind of leaves us on a cliffhanger, right? It kind of leaves us on, we still don't 100% know who Hush is by the end of this one. And it's more to be revealed, so, in the later stories, so. yeah, great edition. It's got these behind the scenes summaries, some Easter eggs in here as well. And then this, yeah, this is called the Absolute Edition, right? The Absolute Batman Hush. He's got some of these sketch drawings here, some studies, like we see it on the Harley Quinn, Huntress. This is a classic Jim Lee with his whiteout kind of style. And these are some rough pencil pages that are really fun to look at as well. You can see the pencils and then with some shading before the inks, and then some with the inks coming on here too as well. Catwoman statue design and the other characters. Hush as well. Yeah, the Nightwing, really, really well done. This is a classic one. I think I sketched this from this book. I think I've got a sketch of this that I kind of copied and then completed inking. Intense, really intense mask. Gotta love that Jim Lee style here. Yeah, so that's going to do it. It's a really great edition. Just thought I'd check this one out because of the movie and because I see a lot of some inspiration from this edition. So hey, thanks for watching. Please like or subscribe if you like what we're doing here. I'll come back every Monday. We'll have a comic book to go through. I'll share some of my reactions and memories of it from when I first got it. Really, I'm going through some of my favorite characters in comics. I'm also going to do a Friday Fantastic Four Friday, where I'm going to make my way through the John Byrne Fantastic Fours. And again, it'll be a similar kind of a light read through, definitely talking about, you know, pre-MCU kind of view of Marvel back in the day when, you know, I was a youngin' and I got those comics each month and open them up and you just transported to the world of the Fantastic Four. We'll go through those John Byrne sagas. I think they're a real fantastic one. We'll do them issue by issue each Friday. So check those out. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.